Hello?
Daddy?
Oh, hello, darling.
Where are you?
On my way. Where shall I meet you?
I've got to make a call at Clayton House.
Pick me up there, will you?
I'll wait for you. I taxi.
All right, my dear. Come on.
Good evening, Mr. Talbot.
Good evening, Constable.
Taxi, sir.
Clayton House, please.
Nicky,
Yeah?
take it easy, won't you?
Sure.
He's pretty old.
Can you go a little faster? I'm late for an appointment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Could you direct me to Fritz Street?
Fritz Street. Here.
Calling all cars in Z area. Be on the lookout for Grey Saloon. License number LXP202. Stop and detain occupants.
Motorcycle. How close are they?
Too close.
I told you to take it easy.
Shut up. Give me that case.
Still there?
Yes.
Take the next corner.
Your brother's on the telephone, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, Nicholas.
Michael, I've had a car accident. I'm coming to the house.
Well, what happened?
You come in, Inspector.
He's regained consciousness. It may only be a few minutes. Mr. Talbot, can you hear me? Can you describe the men who attacked you?
One was
Yes,
a young
a young man. What was he like? Was he tall? Mr. Talbot, there were two men, weren't there? What was the other one like? Yes.
Telephone for you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Inspector here. How many were there? Two men? Both dead. All right, take them to the mortuary. I'll be over later.
Good evening, Mr. Conway.
Is my brother in?
Yes.
Well, what are you staring at?
I'm sorry. He's upstairs with your father. I'll tell him you're here. Your brother is here now, Doctor.
Oh, thank you, nurse.
You want me to stay?
No, that's all right. I can manage. Just put this on my file and you can go. Good night, Miss Fenton.
It's my wrist. I think it's broken.
Oh. You'll have to go and get that x-rayed. Sit down. I'll put this on temporarily. You know I'm supposed to report car accidents. Well?
Go ahead.
What happened?
If you report the accident, you'll find out. How's Mother?
She's a little better.
I was just thinking that a shock would be awfully bad for her. Now, supposing you report this and the police come snooping around, you know how it is. They jump to conclusions. Wouldn't be too good for you, do you think? Didn't you once tell me a bad shock might kill her? You did, you know. You got off the mark pretty quickly, didn't you, Travers?
I don't hang around once they paid their fares.
And you didn't see anything?
Not me, Governor.
All right, you can go. Send in Miss Talbot, will you, Perkins?
Yes. Will you come in, miss, please?
Come and sit down, will you, Miss Talbot? These are photographs of the men we found in the wreckage. I'm afraid they're not a very pleasant sight. Do you recognize them?
No.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was tall and slim. Quite young, about 30.
What was he wearing?
I think a grey Macintosh. I couldn't be sure about that. It all happened so quickly.
What about the other one?
No, I didn't see him.
Do you know who your father was going to see at Clayton House, Miss Talbot?
Yes. This was on his appointment page.
Oh. Henry Farnborough. Do you know him?
Not personally. I believe my father had been doing business with him for some time.
Well, this is something, anyway. We'll have a word with him. I won't trouble you anymore. Where will you be if I want to get hold of you?
I shall be at the shop most of today. I'm afraid I haven't been much help to you. If ever I see that man again, I shall recognize him.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, try and keep as clear a picture of him as you can. Try and fix him in your mind.
I will.
It's just possible, I suppose,
What's that?
for a third man to get out of the wreck.
Could be. There's several items missing here, sir. 4 rings, 2 diamond bracelets, a diamond and ruby bracelet.
Might still be in the wreckage. Double check on that.
Right, sir.
Crouchy? Bentuck?
Give.
Seen the newspapers?
Yeah?
Explains, doesn't it?
The boss thinks you're holding out on him.
He's crazy. It all went wrong from the start. It was badly planned.
You got the case, didn't you?
Sure, I got the case. But I lost it when the car broke up. Maybe you would have liked me to have stayed.
So what did you do?
Just as I told you. I lost the case and blew. I was darn lucky to get out.
You're a very silly boy, Nicky.
Don't you believe me?
He asked if we believe him. Do you believe in Bentuck? He wouldn't have fixed that crash, would he?
For Pete's sake, what do you think I am?
How did you get out?
I got out because I was lucky. Like I told you.
He got out because he was lucky, Bentuck. Like he told you. You ain't so lucky, Nicky boy. Hello? Crouch, what's happened?
He said he left the case.
Well, stay there till I phone you back.
Mr. Farnborough?
Yes?
CID. Can I speak to you, please?
Yes, by all means. Do come in.
Thank you.
Do sit down.
Thanks.
Well, what can I do for you?
I believe you're a client of John Talbot's.
I was. I've just been reading about it. Dreadful. We've been doing business together. It must be close on 20 years. This came as a terrible shock to me.
You know, it looks to me as if somebody must have known that he'd have some valuable stuff on him when he left his shop. Can you think of anybody to whom you might have mentioned your business with him last night?
No.
Any employee who might have let slip? A maid?
No. As a matter of fact, knowing Talbot would be carrying valuable jewelry,
I know that.
I took great care to keep our business strictly to myself.
What were you thinking of buying?
Oh, just something for a friend. I asked for a selection to choose from.
Were you by way of being a friend of John Talbot's?
We were quite close in a business way. Did you recover any of the jewelry, Inspector?
Some of it. The case must have burst open in the crash, which may account for what's missing.
I suppose the occupants of the car were all killed.
We're not certain. If we don't recover the rest of the jewelry, it'll support the idea there was somebody else. I'm more interested in the man who wasn't in the car. The man who was responsible for Talbot's murder. Well, thank you, sir.
Well, good day, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help in any way at all, I shall be only too glad.
Thank you.
Good day. Hello? Okay.
Call for you, sir. Thank you. Hello? Yes? Suspects? Send a car for Miss Talbot. Get some men off the street and hold a parade right away. We'd like you to look through our rogues gallery now, miss. This way, please.
Used to think Mr. Talbot disliked dealing with Farnborough. He never actually said so. It was just an impression.
Henry Farnborough, 13A St. Paul's Churchyard. Thank you, Miss Cress. I'll be back later.
I got a few boys together. Nice, clean-living boys like myself. Very respectable. They've all got nice jobs just like myself.
I do like to hear you talk.
I got to thinking. Farnborough's not a bad fellow at heart. We got a lot in common. And we ought not to fall out just because his boys made a mistake and pushed me around a bit.
They didn't make any mistake.
I was giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, what's the proposition?
Even split in exchange for protection.
Protection? Against what?
Me. Enjoying yourself?
Haven't you forgotten something? Before you start handing out threats, just think back to a man named Talbot. I could fix you for that, Conway, and I needn't disturb myself one little bit.
Are you sure? I don't think you're so sure. Because, Farnborough, if that Talbot business ever catches up with me, I'll drag you right in, I promise you. No witnesses. They cancel each other out. It's just like I said. We got a lot in common, so we ought to keep each other in sight. We can trust each other better. Shall we make a deal?
Get out.
You think it over. We could have a gentleman's agreement. Something we can break easy. Because I learned a lot when I was working with you, Farnborough. I found out what made you tick. You got a nice lineup. And I'm cutting myself in. The easy way or the hard way. It's up to you. And by the way, will you give your boys a message? Tell them I bear no malice. You won't forget, will you?
No. I won't forget.
Good. This'll help you remember.
Wait for me. Doctor has a patient with him at the moment, but he shouldn't be long.
Thank you, nurse.
Could I see Dr. Conway, please?
Do you have an appointment?
No, I'm afraid I haven't.
Come in, will you, please? What name is it, please?
Miss Reynolds.
Thank you. Just wait there, will you?
Thank you.
Haven't we met somewhere?
I don't think so.
Nice weather. For the time of year. Care for a cigarette?
No, thank you.
Mr. Conway, your mother would like to have a word with you, and then the doctor will see you.
Hello, Mother. How are you?
Oh, we haven't seen much of you lately.
Oh, I've been very busy with my new job.
What on earth happened to you?
Oh, it's nothing. I had a little accident. What do you want to see me about?
Nicholas, you aren't better friends with Michael.
Did we go into that?
I wish you were friends. I know he'd like to help you.
Help me. Let him concentrate on you. Why he doesn't stop you taking paying guests in the house with his doctor's nameplate on the door beats me. Well, I better go and see the great man. I thought you were going to finish with all that once he'd got his practice.
Michael wants me to, but you know I enjoy it.
All right, Mum. You know best.
That should be all right. Don't put any strain on it for 2 or 3 days.
Thank you.
Mother tells me you've got a new job in an insurance company.
Yes. Mutual trust. Commission's better.
That should keep you out of trouble.
Why, my dear Michael.
If you get into any more, don't rely on my help.
And Mother was just telling me that you were dying to help me.
There are times when I'd like to wipe that self-satisfied grin right off your face.
Go ahead.
One of these days, somebody's going to catch up with you, Nicholas. You're going to get caught right out in the open.
I like you when you're dramatic. You're so fine. And so funny.
Conway. You're quite certain about this young man?
Yes, quite certain.
Sergeant, check on the name Nicholas Conway, will you? Check all the out files. I don't think he's known to us. You see, Miss Talbot, I'm pretty certain that this is the work of a professional.
Yes. May I make a suggestion?
Yes, of course.
Well, wouldn't it be a good idea to send someone to the house? A policewoman or a plainclothes man as a guest?
Well, we'll think about that when I've seen Conway. I shouldn't hold out too many hopes. But there'll probably be quite a number of false alarms before we pull the right man in.
To future operations, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You bet. I had a word with Farnborough today. Made him a little proposition.
Thought you were on speaking terms.
I did most of the speaking.
What was the proposition?
I offered him 50-50 on all the merchandise he carries through my part of town. Sort of protection.
You offered him 50-50 on his merchandise?
That's right.
You must be cuckoo.
What have you got on Farnborough?
That's my business.
Threw you out of the office, didn't he?
No, Drake, Farnborough did that just once, but he'll never do it again. I got wise.
But he still turned you down.
Sure he did. But now we got to work.
What's the dope?
Hijack. I've got it all worked out. I've got a man on the inside eating right out of my hand. I've got a nice bunch of boys. And the beauty of it is, none of us has a record. None of us. We're all nice, quite respectable gentlemen. Hey, Wilbur? Even Parks. He's respectable.
In this country.
You're not respectable, Nicholas. You sell insurance.
Okay. Hold it.
Mr. Conway?
Yes?
Inspector Troopage, CID.
Congratulations.
Can I have a word with you, please?
Come in.
Thank you.
My friends were just leaving.
Yes, I must be getting along. Good night, Nicholas.
Good night. What time will you be in the office in the morning, Jim?
About 10.
I'll call you. Some business friends of mine. Care for a drink?
No, thanks.
Well, what's on your mind?
Do you know a man called Henry Farnborough?
Farnborough? Yes, I think so. He's in the wholesale line, isn't he?
I believe so, yes. Does the name John Talbot mean anything to you?
Talbot.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Talbot was robbed and murdered. You probably read about it in the newspapers. He was a jeweler.
Oh, yes, I remember. I don't think the police ever made an arrest, did they?
We haven't yet, no.
Bad luck. Is this any of my business?
Talbot was murdered on the night of February the 10th. I wonder if you can remember what you were doing on February the 10th.
Am I being accused of something?
No.
February the 10th. Let's see. February the 10th. Yes, here we are. Had dinner with Michael, my brother. He's a doctor. Spent a most enjoyable evening. Played chess for 3 hours.
Who won?
It was stalemate.
I see. Do you record everything you do in your diary?
Most things. You see, I'm an insurance agent. In my line, one jots things down, force of habit. I expect you do news too, don't you?
Occasionally.
Just a matter of routine.
I see. How long have you been in the insurance business, Mr. Conway?
Altogether, about 2 years.
If you're not acquainted with Farnborough, what were you doing in his office this morning?
His office?
13A St. Paul's Churchyard, isn't it?
Oh, yes, I forgot. I was trying to sell him a life policy, but he's a pretty hard man to see. Reminds me, I must give you my card. If you want fixing up, just drop me a line, care of Mutual Trust.
Thanks. I'll know where to find you.
By the way, do you mind telling me why I've been asked all these questions?
Routine, Mr. Conway, just routine.
How dull.
Not at all. Occasionally it's quite interesting. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Hello?
This is Nicholas. Is my brother there?
I think so.
I want to speak to him. Tell him it's urgent.
Just a moment, please.
What do you make of it, Chief?
I'm looking forward to hearing Dr. Conway's views on chess.
Yes, they should be interesting.
How is Nicholas?
Oh, he's all right, Mother. He was asking after you.
He seems to be nicely settled down, Michael. I began to get worried about him. He needs some nice girl to look after him. And what about yourself?
I'm too busy.
Rubbish. You must learn to relax more. You can't be thinking about work all the time. No, you'd frighten all the girls away from you. Then you'd grow into a crotchety old man with only yourself for company. And did Nicholas say when he was coming to see us?
He said he'd try and get along on Sundays. That must be for me.
Good evening. We are police officers. Will you ask Dr. Conway if he'll be good enough to see us for a few moments, please?
I'm Dr. Conway.
How do you do? Can we have a word with you, please, sir?
Yes. Will you come in here?
Who is it, Mary?
Police officers, ma'am.
Where's the doctor? In his surgery?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mary, thank you.
Oh, Mother. This is Inspector Trowbridge. How do you do? And Sergeant Perkins, sir. Perkins. Just a normal police checkup.
I'll leave you then. Good night.
Night, Mother.
Is everything all right?
Yes, of course it is. What was that date again? February the 10th?
Oh, that's right, yes.
That's about 3 weeks ago. I think it must have been the last time Nicholas came to see his mother. She'd been pretty ill. Afterwards, we played chess.
What time did you finish the game?
At 8:30. I imagine he left here at 8:45.
All right.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but you have a room to let.
Will you come this way?
Well, thank you. That's all I want to ask you at the moment, Doctor.
Why are you making these inquiries, Inspector?
A jeweler named Talbot was robbed and murdered on the night we've been discussing. A person answering your brother's description was seen in the vicinity.
I see.
Still, as he was with you at the time, it must be a case of mistaken identity. Good night, Doctor.
Good night. Good night, sir. Good night. I'll speak to my mother about the room, if you don't mind waiting a moment.
Thank you.
Mind if I join you?
As long as you're not neglecting your patient.
I don't think so. Even doctors are entitled to an afternoon off once in a while. My mother tells me that you're looking for a job.
Yes,
What kind of work do you do?
secretarial.
Well, I hear of things every now and then.
I believe your brother works in an office.
Yes, he sells insurance. I'll have a word with him. He might know something.
Suppose you see quite a lot of your brother.
Well, not really. Nicholas and I haven't very much in common. I'm the stodgy type. Nicholas is more, well, a more natural product of the miracle age. I live in the past.
Why?
I find it more relaxing. It isn't very easy to relax these days. You can't really blame people for being restless and discontented, can you?
No, I suppose you can't.
How would you like to travel back after years?
I only wish it were possible.
You know, every Sunday afternoon I do just that. I shut my eyes, listen. This afternoon they're playing Beethoven's Fifth. Would you bear it? Come on.
Thank you for taking me.
You weren't too bored.
I think I've enjoyed this afternoon more than anything I can remember. For a long time.
Good. Now, would you like some tea?
But too late for tea, aren't we?
Too late? You don't know my mother. She keeps a running buffet. I must say I'm pretty hungry.
Well, well, well. The prodigal returns.
This is my brother Nicholas, Miss Roberts.
How do you do?
I've seen you somewhere before, haven't I?
I don't think so.
I have, you know.
Take no notice of Nicholas. He says that to every girl he meets.
Not every girl.
So you're home at last. We've been waiting tea for you. Nicholas, have you met our guest?
I know where it was. Was in Michael's waiting room.
What are you talking about?
Last week.
She's never been in my waiting room in her life.
Why don't you let her speak for herself?
With pleasure. You're mistaken.
Well, what does it matter? You've met each other now, so don't be fussing about waiting rooms. Now sit down, all of you, and mind you eat every scrap. Come, come.
I want to see Nicholas Conway. It's urgent.
I'll tell him. There's a gentleman to see you.
Who is it?
He didn't give his name.
What did you have to come here for?
A couple of Farnborough's gorillas sorted Drake out this evening. He's in Charing Cross Hospital.
When did you hear this?
Farnborough telephoned.
Did he?
You're crazy to threaten that guy, Nicholas.
I know what I'm doing. Tip the boys off. Tell them to keep out of the dark.
But, Nicky, don't you think...
Just do as I say. I'll do the thinking, okay?
Okay. I'd like to know where all this is going to lead us.
To the big money.
Yeah? Find out how to take it with you?
Oh, what lovely flowers.
For Miss Roberts, madam.
I'm going up myself. I'll take them.
Thank you.
Come in.
For you, aren't they beautiful? They're from Nicholas?
Yes. Would you ask Mary to put them in water for me?
Yes, of course. It's nice to have you with us, my dear.
Thank you.
Enjoying yourself?
Yes, it's quite amusing.
You look bored.
Oh, no, I'm not bored.
You're not very talkative.
I will be, when I've something to say.
Thanks. You know, you've got quite a nice smile. So far, I've seen it once. But it wasn't in my direction. But I think I've chosen the wrong club. Let's go find someplace else, huh? Goodbye.
Are you all right?
Sure. I could do with a drink. Let's go back to my flat.
What was that all about?
Pretty rough, weren't they?
Well, they didn't seem to be very fond of you.
They were just kidding. How do you like it?
Nice.
Here, let me take your coat. There's the drink cabinet. Help yourself and pour me a whiskey. Exercise makes me thirsty.
Who were those men?
Sort of business rivals.
Really? I didn't know competition was so keen.
I don't think I understand you. Yet.
Don't you? You will.
What were you doing in my brother's waiting? You were there, you know. Calling on Brother Michael. What beats me is why act so coy about it? Or do I smell romance?
You never know.
That's more like it.
Does Michael know that you're a crook?
What's that?
Does he?
What makes you think that I'm a crook?
I've got a hunch about you.
Have you now? I wish I could say the same about you. I'd like to know what's underneath that armored plating of yours. An iceberg or a volcano?
It isn't an iceberg.
When do I get a glimpse of the volcano?
At the moment, it's only smoldering.
I can't wait to see it erupt.
What particular racket do you specialize in?
You're really sold on that, aren't you? Why?
I think you're too smart, to be honest.
Did I see a glimpse of sneaking admiration?
You haven't answered my question.
You have to go.
Yes.
Why?
I like to sleep.
I'll call you tomorrow.
this for?
It's the key to the flat. Use it.
Thank you. I will.
Have you seen Miss Roberts this morning?
No, I haven't.
I think Nicholas took her dancing last night.
Did he?
Well, why not? You can't expect him to be an old stick in the mud like yourself.
I suppose not.
Something troubling you, Michael?
No, of course not. Well, I must be going. I think I have a patient waiting.
Michael?
Yes?
You're hiding something from me, aren't you?
No, Mother.
Has Nicholas been getting into trouble again?
There's nothing for you to worry about at all, I promise you.
Hello, Michael.
I haven't seen very much of you lately.
Well, I have been rather busy the last few days.
A patient of mine has given me 2 tickets for Covent Garden on Friday. I was wondering if you'd like to come.
Well, I'd love to come with you. Could I let you know later?
Of course you can.
Miss Talbot. Will you see Inspector Trubridge, please, miss? If you get in, I'll take you to him. I thought it better that we meet here than in my office. Sit down, won't you? Coffee? Coffee, please. What do you expect to gain by staying in that house, Miss Talbot?
I expect to prove that Conway murdered my father. Is that what you wanted to see me about?
I wanted to warn you that you may be in danger.
Then you think Conway's the man.
Between ourselves, I'm practically certain of it.
Then why don't you arrest him?
For 2 reasons. 1, because somebody's given him a false alibi and it's got to be broken. 2, because while he's at large, he may lead us to the person who tipped him off.
Farnborough?
Possibly. We believe that some of Conway's cronies have been beaten up by Farnborough's men, but they won't talk. The trouble is that none of the suspects in this case has got a record. I want to give them plenty of rope. And in the meantime, I want Conway to feel secure.
What about the rings that are still missing?
If he's still got them, you might be able to locate them yourself.
If he was working with Farnborough, he'd have handed them over.
Perhaps that's why they're at loggerheads now. Because he didn't. Miss Talbot, the moment you suspect that any one of them realizes who you are, get out as quickly as you can.
Would you mind telling me who gave Conway his alibi?
His brother.
Nicholas?
Hello, what the...
You gave me this. Remember?
You bet. I wondered if you would.
I want you to look at something for me. Are these worth anything?
What have you been doing? Robbing a jewelry store?
No, I bought them from somebody who did. Now I want to get rid of them.
Depends how hot they are.
They're pretty hot. I only got them yesterday.
Are you trying to corrupt me?
Is that possible?
Well, I might be able to help you. I know 1 or 2 of the boys. How much do you want?
Get what you can and we'll share.
How long have you been doing this?
A few months. I'm quite an amateur, but I'm willing to learn.
Are you now?
I need your professional guidance.
There's no holding you, is there? All I said was that I knew one or two of the boys. All right, I'm one of them myself. Where do we go from here?
The thief can always tell a thief. Don't kid me anymore, will you?
Maybe that's why we're attracted to each other. I'll tell you something, shall I? Something I've never told another girl in my life. Ever since I first known you, I haven't had you out of my thoughts.
I haven't had you out of mine.
Get out of sight and put that stuff in the bedroom.
I want to speak to you, Nicholas.
Come on in.
Leave Jean Roberts alone.
That sounds like a threat.
I'm just telling you to leave her alone.
Are you frightened she might lead me astray?
Shut up.
Tell me something, Michael. Do I detect genuine concern for Jean Roberts? Or do I see a good chunk of old-fashioned jealousy? You never were any good at holding you women, were you? Perhaps you don't use the right technique. Or choose the right woman. Why don't you go and get yourself a nice girl and leave the other ones to me? All right. If that's how you want to play it, let's put our cards on the table face up. You don't want me to see Jean Roberts because you think I'm a bad influence. Because you're crazy about her yourself. Well, we'll soon decide that. There she is. You can take her away with you. If she wants to go. That's all I wanted to know. We've got a future, sweetheart.
Conway. You'll never learn a lesson, will you?
Doesn't look like it.
All right, what happened?
Well, I just turned out of Lytton Street and a car pulled right in front of me. 3 men jumped out and one of them stuck a gun in my face.
Was Conway with them?
Oh, it was dark, boss. I didn't recognize him.
All right, Walters. I'd give a lot to know where Conway gets his information. Who drove the truck on the Dover Street job?
Walters.
Does he know anything about tomorrow night?
Well, he might. He works the switchboard at the depot and there's nothing else for him.
Hmm. Get Bentock to tail him. Keep him in sight.
Okay.
Yes?
This is Walters. Do you know where Nicholas is?
Yes, I'm picking him up in a few minutes.
Oh, well, tell him to meet me at the usual place, 2:30 tomorrow.
All right.
Tell him to watch his step. It's getting a bit hot.
Have I been sitting next to you all this time?
Could be.
I hear you're looking for trouble.
Trouble is the spice of life, Crouch. It keeps you young.
Not your kind of trouble.
Oh. Take for my son and give him the change. He's not working.
Yes, sir. you see the girl in Conway's car? No. It's Talbot's daughter. You sure? Certain of it. I'd better see Farnborough. Take me around to his flat.
What master stroke are you planning now?
Depends what Walters has to tell me. Could be the thing I'm waiting for.
Something big.
Big? So big, sweetheart, it'll make your head spin. Certain gentleman I know is collecting some cash from a fence. If I can lay my hands on it, it'll put me in the money to the tune of 10,000 pounds. 10,000 lovely pounds. Think of that. I'll tell you something else. Something that'll really surprise you.
Yes.
With that money, I can afford to go straight. I think I'll travel. How do you like the sound of South America?
Is it big enough for you?
For both of us, sweetheart. Both of us.
Who's the Good Samaritan?
Come again?
The one you're going to relieve of the 10,000 pounds.
Oh, him. He's quite a big shot. Keep it under your hat. His name is Farnborough.
She was driving Conway's car. Travers flipped her as soon as he set eyes on her.
I don't like the sound of that. What would she be doing with Conway?
She could be stalling for the cops.
If she's gunning for Conway, then she's gunning for me, too. That might call for something more drastic.
Got any ideas?
Yes, I have. Come on.
I hope you weren't followed.
No, I don't think so. There's something brewing tonight. Farnborough's collecting 10,000 from a receiver.
Where's the meeting?
Someone's tipping Conway off. With any luck, I'll get it out of him.
I'll be in the office. Give me a ring if you hear anything. Do you want a lift?
Please.
Scotch, please.
Carter's warehouse. Farnborough will be there at 10 o'clock.
Right.
Is that Miss Roberts' case?
Yes, sir.
Are you really going?
Yes, Michael.
Did I embarrass you very much?
No, of course not. One day I should be able to explain all this. Why I was at Nicholas's flat and...
Well, you don't have to explain anything.
Well, when I do, I hope you'll understand. It isn't quite what you think.
Excuse me. Hello, yes? Yes, she's here. It's for you.
Hello?
We're going to Carter's warehouse. Yes, this is the jackpot I was telling you about. How about coming along and seeing the fun?
What time?
Get here about 9. Okay? All right, see you then.
Get me Scotland Yard.
Walters, the boss wants you.
What about?
Get in, you'll find out. Go on, get in.
You ready?
You sure it's going to be all right, Nicky?
Sure, I'm sure. What's eating you? Just in case there's trouble, we'll be prepared. And lay off the whiskey. Hello? Yes, Conway speaking.
There's been a change of plan. It's not Carter's warehouse. It's Goring's depository, East India Docks.
What's the idea? How many?
Just me and Farnborough.
Hello, sweetheart.
Make sure you're not late.
Right. It's all been changed. They're meeting at Goring's depository, same time. If we leave now, we'll be way ahead of them.
But Farnborough's still collecting the cash.
What do you think we're going for?
I don't like it, Nicky.
Who the devil cares what you like? And for Pete's sake, give the booze a rest. All right, let's go. Come on, sweetheart.
Get my message? Won't be trouble, will there? Not for us, they won't. Come on, boys, inside.
Now, this is what you do. Keep them covered, and as soon as Clive closes the door on the outside, let them have it. All right, Clive? Yep. Don't start anything until Clive closes the door. Have you got that? Okay. All right, Benton, you take that side. Come with me, Pettis.
How are we going for time?
Oh, we're okay. Nervous?
Very.
They'll probably make for the main yard.
I'm taking the side entrance.
Get the car back on the street and keep out of sight. Step on it. Take me to Michael.
Not a sign of them. All right, back to the yard.
What's happened?
Wilbur's headed. Conway and the girl got clean away.
That's terrific.
I think he's been hit, so she's probably taken to his brother's.
All right, you get out of the depot. Start moving out in case there's trouble. I'll take care of Conway myself.
He should sleep for a while.
Will he be all right?
Yes, it was only a flesh wound.
I'm glad. I don't want him to die this way.
I thought you loved him.
Love him? You know what he is. How can anyone love a man like your brother?
I don't understand.
Nicholas murdered my father. His name was Talbot. He was attacked in the street. I recognize Nicholas. Ever since I've known you, I've been trying to build up evidence against him. I've been trying to break down the alibi you gave him.
Get away from that phone.
Scotland Yard. Hello? Hello?
Get away from that phone.
Who do you wish to speak to? Hello? Hello?
Police headquarters. I want to speak to the chief inspector.
Stay where you are. Why would you know?
This is Mrs. Conway, 28 Cranford Gardens. Nicholas Conway has just left the house.
Wait here and take care of her.
To all patrol cars in the London area, be on the lookout for Nicholas Conway. He is dark, clean-shaven, 5 feet 11 inches, heavily built.
All right, keep on their tails and start rounding up. Got the Farnborough mob under control, Chief.
What about Farnborough?
No sign of him.
Put this out. Wanted for questioning, Henry Farnborough. Tall, dark-complexioned, aged about 37. Last seen leaving Cavendish Court. Believed to be driving Grey Morris, license number...
SJ0939, sir.
SJ0939. Stop and detain. That's all.
Hello?
Jean, this is Nicholas. Listen, there's a grid in the surgery over the desk. You'll find some jewelry. Bring it to this address.
The Grange. Elm Lane. Off the Watford Road. All right.
And hurry. Please hurry.
After I've gone, phone the police and give them this address.
Is this where Nicholas...
Yes. There's something I've got to say to him. I'm going to see him. Taxi. Elm Lane, Watford Road.
Car Y24 calling headquarters. Car Y24 calling headquarters. Over.
I thought you were never coming.
Did you?
Did you bring it?
They won't help you, Nicholas.
Won't help me. You bet they will.
They won't save you.
What's the matter with you? Anyone would think that you wanted me.
Nothing can save you.
What the devil is this? This is Nicholas, the man you love.
I've never loved you. I've hated every moment your hands touched me. As long as I remember, I shall never get the horror of it out of my mind. Do you remember a little man you attacked in the street a few months ago? Or have you been a thug so long he's just another incident in your life? Maybe you do remember. Because he died. I suppose even thugs don't like men to die in case they have to die for them.
Who are you?
Shall I tell you? You never were very smart, were you, Conway? You tried to think too big, too soon. You should have waited until you were grown up. She is Talbot's daughter.
No.
Don't worry, Conway. There'll be no witnesses. You're safe. From the police.
They're looking for you, Farnborough.
Are they? They'll be lucky. No witnesses, Conway.
Thank you.